in the space of less than 3 weeks, you could learn how to negotiate better deals, avoid unnecessary arguments, and make fair decisions with confidence. Well, that's exactly what Mercury in Libra can do for you. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chrissy, and today we are diving deep into Mercury in Libra. Not just what this transit means, but also how you can actually use it strategically to build better relationships and communicate better in both your relationships and your professional life. Before we dive into today's video, I've got some very exciting news to share with you. And this is going to be particularly useful whether you are new in the personal growth and manifestation space or whether you are a seasoned pro. Because chances are there is so much amazing content out there that teaches you all about how to live a better life, how to manifest your dreams. And so much of it is so valuable, but it's impossible to do everything at once every day. You can't be spending every day doing journaling, doing vision boards, doing visualization meditations, doing all of those amazing things which are really helpful, but there's only so much time in the day. And the amazing thing about astrology is that astrological transits do actually tell us when there is a good time to be doing certain practices, to be doing certain little rituals. And this is why I am coming out with my new newsletter, which I am calling the Manifestology newsletter, in which I go deep into all of the practices that I have personally used to manifest all sorts of things, from a career in my dream company to the exact car down to the color and finish that I wanted, to living my dream life out in the Mediterranean. These tools and techniques, they work. I have taught them to so many people who have used them to manifest all sorts of amazing things for themselves. But not only that, I am also giving you the perfect timings on which to use these practices, to make use of them and to utilize them so that you still have time to enjoy your life, which is one of the key steps to manifestation. You still got to enjoy your life day to day without feeling overwhelmed and overburdened by all of the things that you want to be doing. And the best news of all of that is it is completely free. It doesn't cost you anything to sign up for it, and you're going to get so much value, so many techniques and tips and tricks up to date, sent directly to your mailbox. So do please check out the description bar below, where I will link to where you can sign up for this new newsletter. And I'm very excited to share all of this amazing wisdom with you. But now let's get back to Mercury in Libra. This year in 2025, Mercury enters the sign of Libra on the 18th of September, and it's going to stay there until very late, at least if you are in Europe, very late on October the 6th. Mercury, the planet of communication, of thinking, is meeting Libra, an air sign. And there is a natural harmony in this. Mercury does very well in air signs because air signs in and of themselves represent thinking and communicating. They are very strong in that. So this transit is where diplomacy really becomes your superpower. This is where your words can build bridges and not walls, which is something that all of us could probably use a little bit more of, given what the world is looking like at the moment. So think of Mercury in Libra as something like your cosmic or celestial communication coach. For the next 18 days, your ability to see things from multiple perspectives, to communicate in ways that naturally brings people together, and to find solutions that are fair for everybody involved gets a natural upgrade. But here's what most people miss. This isn't just about being nicer, although that in and of itself is great, but there's more to it. It's about building strategic relationships. And what makes this particular Mercury transit so special is that pretty much as soon as Mercury enters the sign of Libra, and I'm going to bring up a chart here so that you can look at it, it is immediately forming a grand trine with Uranus in Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius. And this is really big news. Because for one, we have Uranus, the planet of revolution, of disruption, of new ways of thinking. Another planet that does very, very well in air signs, feels very at home there, which is bringing revelations, surprises, things with a shock element, but also genius thinking, thinking outside of the box, outside of the norm, outside of what we are used to and have grown accustomed to. Forming a harmonious relationship with Mercury in Libra, and both of these are getting powered by Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto, which pushes everything that it touches to the extreme. Pluto, which stands for transformation, of tearing down the entire system and building things from scratch. So these three working together, Pluto in Aquarius being extremely disruptive, Uranus in any sign being extremely disruptive, but in Gemini, the sign which is also ruled by Mercury, and then we have Mercury in Libra holding these two powerhouses, these two giants of innovation and reinvention together, pulling us together so that we as friends, as partners, as families, as communities, as nations, as the human species can work together to rebuild the way we communicate and to rebuild the way that we speak with each other and the way that we learn and the way that we think. And grand air trines are something that makes our minds move incredibly fast. So breakthroughs are coming. Breakthroughs are coming our way in all of the areas that I have just mentioned. So now let's learn how to make the best of those. Mercury in Libra brings three superpowers that we all get to tap into for the next 18 days. If you have Mercury in Libra natally, you are an expert at these already, but at least during this transit, we all get a little bit of a taster of these three superpowers. Number one, the diplomatic advantage. Mercury in Libra makes us able to resolve conflicts that may have previously reached a stalemate. Not just for ourselves, but also for others. And oftentimes it is actually easier as an outsider to step in and see where people are talking but not reaching each other. They are trying to get a point across and neither of the two parties can hear each other. But with Mercury in Libra, we all get a little bit more switched on to those kind of scenarios. And there are many opportunities where we can use these. In your professional life, this might mean resolving any rifts in the workplace between colleagues, whether or not you're personally involved in that. Building really strong client relationships. Working on partnerships with other businesses or other institutions that may have a common goal together with your business. In personal relationships, this is an excellent opportunity to heal family rifts or issues within relationships that have been quietly bubbling under the surface, but no one really has the courage to address them because they may be afraid of the tin of worms that they're about to open. Well, this is a great opportunity to do that. Mercury in Libra's second superpower is the perspective multiplier. Libra enables us to see things from different perspectives. And with Mercury in Libra, we can really imagine things. We are able to think about a situation from all of these different perspectives, which when they are all put together, bring us so much closer to whatever an objective truth may be than just one or maybe two single perspectives at a time. It also means that your pride or your ego doesn't get hurt from seeing things from a different perspective, like it might when the energies are unfolding a bit differently. The strategic advantage in that is that you are actually able to see what other people need from you in order to say yes to whatever request you are putting out in front of them. or if you are a teacher or a content creator or anybody else with a wide outreach, then you are able to package your message, whatever that message may be, in a way that it can be understood by a wide variety of people. Mercury in Libra's third superpower is the charm factor. Any kind of Libra placement is very, very charming, but with Mercury there, our words carry charm. We all become a little bit more chatty and a little bit more prone to wanting to spend time with other people and communicate with them. Talking and listening to each other just becomes a lot more pleasant and pleasurable. And this makes it a fantastic time for any kind of interviews, presentations, anything where there is a back and forth between you and other people. So now let's go into detail about when and how to use each of these three superpowers. In the first week, when Mercury is in Libra, so that's September 18th to 25th, this is where we want to start building our solid foundations. This is a good time to start having any difficult conversations that you might have been avoiding. And just one word of caution here, you may not naturally want to do that because Mercury in Libra really wants to keep the peace, and there is a natural tendency to want to avoid rocking the boat too much. But the thing is, if we don't discuss the things that are an issue in our lives, that we do feel are creeping up on us, eventually they're going to come out. And they're probably going to come out in a very explosive and unpleasant way if we keep them under wraps for too long. So this, when it may not feel like you're naturally inclined to do so, is actually the best time to bring up those difficult conversations, to have that talk, because it's not just you who's going to be able to see things from multiple perspectives. The other people who are involved in that conversations also have that ability. This is a global transit that affects everybody. And so finding a solution that really benefits everyone is going to be so much easier. And you're going to be so grateful at the end of it that you took your time to do that, and you now no longer have to worry about it. It frees up so much mental energy and mental capacity not to have to push down those unpleasant thoughts of what if. Any new partnerships or collaborations that you would start, this is a time when you want to reach out to people, mostly in your professional life, but maybe there's also some partnerships or collaborations that you want to do in your personal life. This is when to call that person, to send that email, to just make contact, to sign up for the networking event maybe. And this is also, the first week is also a great time to renegotiate any boundaries, any legal contracts, because this is another manifestation of Libra energy, is anything legal. So maybe renegotiating things like your lease, any other kind of contract that you may be in. September, October time is a time where a lot of large corporations have their performance reviews. So fantastic opportunity to maybe renegotiate your salary. Renegotiate the terms of any contracts where you feel like you could be doing better. Very important, this is not the time to charge ahead and make decisions on your own without consulting people. This is not going to go down very well during this time. Then we have the second week from September 26th until the 2nd of October. And this is the golden window for communication. So whereas in the previous week you wanted to maybe sign up for the networking events, this is where you want to go to the networking events. This is where you want to craft any materials, any presentations, any teaching materials, any business presentations or pitches that you have, any social media content or marketing content that you may want to bring out. If you can put them in this week, have a much higher chance of succeeding as well. This is the perfect time for things like that, because this is the thick of you being able to see things from multiple perspectives, to see how what you are putting out may be received by other people, and adjust accordingly to make sure it's received in the way that you want it to be received. And then the final week, which isn't a full week, but it's the 3rd until the 6th of October. This is your integration phase. This is where you can look back at what you have learned by communicating with other people, by taking on board new perspectives, and how you're going to change the way you present yourself and the way that you communicate, the way that you package your message, how you're going to do that going forward. And these last few days give you the opportunity to test that and to see how it is received and to make any final adjustments to your communication strategy or to your message. In your personal relationships, perhaps by addressing that elephant in the room, that uncomfortable situation that you have addressed previously, this is where it may open up the avenue to another really important conversation. Not necessarily an unpleasant one, but one that wasn't possible before you healed whatever needed to be healed before that. And this is especially true for October 3rd. This is when Mercury is going to oppose Chiron, which is currently retrograde in Aries. This promises us healing through talking to each other in an honest and balanced and fair way, although it might come about in a way where old wounds have to be stirred up first so that you get to that conversation. So don't worry if that happens. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean that you haven't made the most of this transit. Perhaps something has to come up so that you can talk it out and so that both of you, or however many are involved, can heal through having this honest communication with each other. Okay, moving on to your practical Mercury in Libra toolkit, because it's all well and nice knowing what it would be good to do during this time, but let's also talk about how to do it. Because here's the thing, if you practice these strategies while it's relatively easy, with Mercury being in Libra, with the energy naturally flowing that way, then it will be possible for you to also do it when it may be a little bit more difficult. So practice it when this comes naturally to you, and then you will have that tool in your toolkit going forward when it may not be so easy, but may be needed a lot more. One of the things that is going to be great to practice during this time is asking for help, especially if you're someone like me who really doesn't like asking people for help. This is the perfect opportunity to practice that muscle, to get over whatever mental blockade you've got that is preventing you from doing this in the first place. And you don't have to go all guns blazing into this. Start small. Start asking people for something small that you know is going to be a massive deal. And observe their reactions, because here's the thing. I know so many people really struggle with asking for help. Like I said, myself included. But actually, most people really like being helpful. We actually really enjoy that. It feels good, especially when it's somebody that we care about. It feels good to help them. So don't rob other people of that good feeling, of that warm, fuzzy feeling of having helped someone they care about, and learn how to ask for help. And again, like I said, start with something small. Start with something that is no big deal, and obviously thank them appropriately afterwards. And just see how that adds a level of richness and depth to your relationships. Number 2, how to be diplomatic with one simple switch of a phrase. During Mercury in Libra, let's do this one thing. Let us completely scratch the phrase no but from our vocabulary. And let's replace no but with yes and. Because as soon as somebody you may have even heard this before, as soon as somebody says but, you have completely forgotten everything else they have said before that. All your mind is going to focus on is everything that came after the but, which shouldn't be the main focus of a conversation if you want to advance it to a new place. What I mean with this, I'll give you some examples. Let's say somebody gives an opinion and you may not completely agree with that opinion. Natural response to that would be saying, no, but so and so and so. Try saying, okay, I understand your perspective, and let's also consider looking at it from this point of view. Yes, I understand that you feel that way. Yes, what you said is important. And let's also look at this other thing. Yes, I understand your viewpoint, and let's also consider so and so and so and so. It comes across completely differently. It makes the other person actually listen to what you are saying rather than in their mind already preparing a response and a retort to you because they feel like they've been shot down. And finally, the Libra negotiation formula. How to negotiate like an absolute pro. Step number 1, get clear on the issue. Make sure that everybody who is involved in this negotiation, in this discussion, is on the same page as you about what the actual issue is. Define it and understand what you're trying to solve with this negotiation. Number 2, appreciate what is actually working. Rather than jumping straight into what needs fixing, take some time to show appreciation for what goes well, because that is going to be your inspiration for how to fix things that are not going well. And it also shows everybody involved that you are capable of producing good results together, and you are capable of doing more than just butt heads with each other all the time. Number 3, whatever the issue and the problem is, make sure that everybody understands that it's not you against each other, it's all of you together against the issue. It's a shared problem that you all need to work on together. Number 4, present multiple options. Even if none of the options may be something that we want ideally in an ideal life, being given a choice is worth so much more than a lot of people understand. Because here's the thing, when you don't give people a choice, you're kind of assuming that you know what the best option for them is. And you are assuming that you know everything about their thought process and everything about their lives, which you don't. And that's okay, that's normal. So when you give other people a choice, it puts the agency back to them. And you may be surprised by which choice they actually prefer, because again, you didn't know everything about them. But here's an opportunity to learn more. So really make sure that you ask for people's input on which option seems to be the most fair and the most balanced. Ideally, you want to create solutions where everybody wins, even a little bit, rather than where one person wins a lot and another person loses. And that takes a little bit of practice. But again, Mercury in Libra is a great time to be practicing that, because it will come easier to you. And once you've practiced that muscle, it will be developed for when it may not be so easy to see these things. And finally, before moving forward, make sure that everyone's on the same page. Make sure there's mutual agreement. Make sure that all of the doubts and questions have been addressed before you close off the discussion and the conversation. Okay, so each transit does also come with its own challenges. We've spoken about the great opportunities that we get with Mercury in Libra. There are a few challenges that we do need to just be aware of and look out for. Something I've hinted at a little bit earlier in this video is avoiding difficult conversations because you just don't want the conflict. Libra energy is very conflict shy. Although it is actually the best time to resolve conflicts because you're able to look at them being balanced and being fair. So just be honest with yourself where you may be shying away from standing up for yourself or for somebody else, where you're shying away from addressing something that you know deep down in your gut, in your heart, wherever you feel it, that it does need addressing. Another danger of Mercury in Libra is analysis paralysis, from seeing things from too many sides. This could be a time where you have those business meetings where you spend an hour and a half discussing with people what shade of green to use on an internal document that no one's ever going to see. Another danger of Mercury in Libra could be watering down your message or who you are too much, just trying to please everyone. Libra allows us to see things from multiple perspectives, but you're never going to be able to please everybody, and you're not supposed to please everybody. And you don't want to hide yourself and become somebody else just so that you can avoid any kind of disagreement or displeasure among the people that you come into contact with, because that's impossible anyway. A few quick fixes for those problems. Set yourself deadlines for when a decision has to be made so that you avoid just dredging in decision analysis and all of that. So deadlines, by a certain deadline, decision must be made, and then you move forward with that decision and you do not look back. And just remember that fair doesn't always mean equal. And if you do need more time, practice saying, I need some more time to consider this. Give a deadline by when you're going to be ready and allow yourself that time. Don't let yourself be pushed into a situation where you may be over-compromising because you don't want to shake the boat too much. So here are your top Mercury in Libra strategies for your business or your career. Schedule any kind of important meetings for this transit, any kind of presentations. Launch partnerships, launch collaborations, reach out to people, reach out to other businesses, and find a way to refine your brand message so that you can appeal to a broader audience. For relationships, plan those deep, important conversations where you talk about your future and how both of you see your future with each other. This is a great time to get started on any kind of couples counseling or couples therapy. A great opportunity to learn and, most importantly, practice active listening. And also a great time to host a gathering where you bring together different groups of friends so that they can mingle and interact with each other. For content creators and teachers, this is your time to create content that bridges different viewpoints. This is your time to branch out of your niche a little bit and see at least the adjacent ones and find a way to bridge them and bring them together. This is also a perfect time to reach out to others in your field and think about collaborations, about creating something together. This is a time to refine your message so that it appeals to more people, but also to present anything that is quite complex in ways that are beautiful, in an aesthetically pleasing way, and also easily accessible and understandable. So here's your Mercury in Libra homework. Think about one situation in your life where there has been a communication challenge, where you've been avoiding somebody or avoiding a conversation with somebody, and just address it. Address it in the first week of this transit, using the tools that I have provided you in this video. Start with appreciation, find the common ground, and work together to find a solution so that you can create connection rather than division. And here's the thing about Mercury in Libra. It doesn't just improve your communication. It also makes us understand that our relationships and our ability to connect with others and build these relationships is one of our most powerful personal and professional assets. When you master the art of communicating in a diplomatic way, doors open for you that you never even imagined existed. If you found this practical approach to Mercury in Libra helpful, then do make sure that you're subscribed, because I come out every single week with fresh content for you, showing you how to use cosmic timing strategically to bring you one step closer to your goals. And if you would like to dive even deeper and get a personalized toolkit just for yourself, then do check out my booking link in the description box. And again, remember, astrology doesn't define you, but it can show you the perfect timing for any of the changes that you were already ready to make. So use this Mercury in Libra transit wisely and watch how your relationships become your superpower. And I wish that for you so much. Until next time, ciao, ciao.